Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and today I'm making another video about my lovely Esse, the Esse Ironheart, which I bought a year ago. Made a video fairly recently, a couple of weeks ago, about how I have been surviving with the Esse a year on, and that was a video that was just one of those things I thought I would update people on. Seems to have gone down very well. A lot of people have watched that one, so I thought there's obviously an interest in that. If it's not for you, then do skip this video, but if you're interested in wood burning stoves, and particularly a kitchen range such as this, it is a big investment and you really want to get to know what it is you're going to buy and the work that's involved in it. So I just thought I'd share my experiences a little bit more. I'm going to do a deep clean today. This is something that I do about in the summer, every couple of months, something like that. In the winter, at least once a month. It just gets rid of all the horrible, nasty black soot and canker that gets stuck up onto the sides, keeps it clean on the inside, as clean as you can be, and so that you get maximum performance out of the beast. And that's what I'm going to do today. So let's not waste any more time and crack on. First thing I need to do is, because I was using it yesterday, it's all nice and cold, is to get rid of the ash basically. So just move the little fire protectant screen, open up the door, and we'll get rid of the ash. I just dumped this at the moment, but in the spring I think this is going to be quite useful on the lovely Julia's allotment. They do say that ash is actually quite good for the garden. I'm only burning wood, so I don't know if that makes it potash, but it's got something apparently that the gardeners can use. In my previous video I showed you how I clean the glass on the front, and I just want to thank everybody who came up with lots of other suggestions. I haven't tried them all yet, but this is a very simple, my preferred way at the moment, and it's relatively quick. And I do this on a daily basis, as you probably saw in the other video. I'm just going to quickly give this a bit of a clean. It does depend on the wood, of course. If it's not completely seasoned, it smokes more and then it smogs up the glass. But for me, it works really reasonably well, and it's not too much of a hassle. So that's just part of my daily routine, so that's rather easy. Okay, so now we get on to the other major things that one needs to think about when cleaning much more deeply. I generally tend to work from the top, working down on the basis that all the stuff that I'm going to disturb is going to fall down. And in fact, when I do this normally, I would actually probably do the cleaning of the glass and emptying of the ash pan last. But I just wanted to show you that because that's what I do on a daily basis, because I'm going to clean out this chimney. Just going to run a brush up there and then clean above the hob and on the inside of the oven, and that will bring a lot of dust and soot down into the main ash pan, and obviously, you know, when you're going to do that you may as well only do it once. So I have fortunately here a little access point, be careful I don't drop the screws, in the chimney pipe, which enables me to get inside and just run a little brush up there, just to take away anything that might be blocking it. It's usually pretty grubby. You can wear gloves, I tend not to, so I just need my brush. It's a small brush, and it fits up here like this. Basically I send it up as far as it will go. And back the other way. On this occasion, because I do this regularly, you don't actually get too much of an issue. So next up, going to lift up the cooking plates. I'm going to open up the bottom of the the smoke pipe, and then sweep that down into the cavity that's under here, which will either go into the ash box and sweep all of that, or into underneath the oven, which then I can pull out. So to do that, we need the Allen keys and some little handles that are going to help me to lift up the steel plates that are here. Right, so these now just lift out pretty easily actually. You just need a little bit of welly to lift it up because it is quite heavy. I tend to put mine outside. You could just put newspaper down or some rags or something on the kitchen floor. Obviously put it where it's convenient. I just shove it outside the back door because I'm going to brush it down with a little brush in a few minutes. But before I do that, my next task is to get down into the bowels of the Esse and just give it a good brush around. If you're doing this regularly, then actually there's not a huge amount of build-up. It's when you leave it for months on end that sometimes you can have quite a bit of a task, because some of this canker, I'm using that word, I don't know if that's the right word, can stick and fur up into quite large lumps. You'd be quite surprised. It all depends really on how well seasoned the wood is. And on that note, when you buy wood, these are all things that I've just found out in the last year really, that when you buy wood, half the time it isn't really very well seasoned. And ideally you want to buy your wood perhaps 6 months before you're going to use it, so you've got an extra bit of drying time. Unfortunately, I've been sort of buying it hand to mouth, so sometimes it's not as dry as it should be, and so therefore it does sort of bung up the chimney more so, which is why I'm a bit of a clean fiend. So let's crack on. Right, I'm so comfy. So we've worked on the top, cleaned out the ash in here. We've got rid of the ash from the ash pan, and the reason I do it this way round is because I now use the ash pan itself, which is empty, because here looks like a little thing, but actually under this door is a panel that goes underneath the oven. Now of course cleaning out the oven is something that you can do periodically anyway, because of depending on what you've cooked. So that's slightly different really. I put that as a separate job from cleaning out the Esse generally, although I may do that at the same time when I'm doing this. Doesn't need cleaning because I cleaned it the other day. This little compartment is where the heat is pushed around the Esse, and again some of the smoke will go through and some of this canker will build up, and everything that you push down eventually ends up down here. There's some nuts that hold this on, so I'm just going to undo these nuts very quickly, and I have a special tool. I can just get this nut undone. Very important that you don't lose your nuts. Just undo that. So I tend to put them down in a safe place, and then you have this little compartment here. This is a special tool that came with the Esse, and what you do is you put it in that slot, because you can't really get your hand in there, and you draw it back, pulling back all the black soot and the canker, and I collect it up in the ash pan. There we go, so that's all clean, and I can now just put it back together again in the order that we found it. It's about a 20-minute job, I suppose. If you do it regularly, of course, you're not going to have so many issues. You're not going to have so much soot and canker to clean out. It's going to be quite easy. You saw there that really there wasn't that much to come out, because it's just a process that you do. And look, I'm not really that grubby from it. just use the gloves for cleaning the glass. And there we are, we're all set to keep it going. Be interested in all your comments and suggestions and thoughts, and the type of wood stoves that you use. That would be interesting, and how you get on with it. Do you just burn logs? Do you use coal? And you know, it's not for everybody. It is messy. There is a bit of tidying up, a bit of clearing up, a bit of dust and all of that, but it's a way of life. And as I said in the previous video, I love my Esse. I think it's great. I absolutely adore it. So I'm just going to put the screws back in to hold this into place, and then once I'm done, I'll just clean up the top and all of that. I am looking for a nice sort of stove black, something just to give the Esse a new sort of coat. You can buy a spray. Not keen on doing that. I'd rather have something that you polish in. So I don't know what there is on the market. We'll have to have a look for that, because as it burns there is a bit of discoloration, and of course food and fats can discolour and affect the top, and it's just, you know, every now, once a year perhaps, just treat it up really nicely. But anyway, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, become a patron, support what I do if you can. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on another one. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Bye bye. Bye bye. Right, let's get these screws back in.